meeting of the Board of Education of Somerset Hills. Please be advised that this and all meetings of the board are open to the public and media consistent with the Open Public Meetings Act, and the advance notice required therein has been provided. This is a meeting of the Board of Education of Somerset Hills at which formal action may be taken. The public will have an opportunity to be heard as shown on the agenda. Roll call, please.
Mr. Baker.
Here.
Ms. Ballard.
Here.
Ms. Clark Emery. Ms. Cooper.
Here.
Ms. Gills. Ms. Gomez.
Here.
Mrs. Hoppy.
Here.
Mrs. Santora.
Here.
Mrs. Rye.
Here.
Mrs. Frenda.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Okay, thank you so much. Executive session. The Open Public Meetings Act authorizes a public body to exclude the public from that portion of a meeting at which specified topics are to be discussed under the circumstances where the public consideration of such topics will clearly endanger the public, or where the personal privacy or guaranteed rights of individuals whose activities or affairs are to be discussed would clearly be in danger of unwarranted invasions, and the matters about to be presented for discussion clearly meet the circumstances test of such act. The Board of Education of Somerset Hills now adjourns its public session to reconvene an executive session for the purpose of discussing the following: personnel, student matters, contracts, negotiations, and litigation. Can I get a motion to go into executive, please? Ms. Rye, and a second? Ms. Cooper. Thank you. Sir, if I could ask you all to please rise and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge of Allegiance.
Of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And now we will pass it off for Dr. Burkle for the report of the superintendent.
All right, good evening, everybody. So we're going to kick it off tonight with our student speakers. The first group that we have are from the middle school, and they're representing our climate and culture team, Aiden Faley, Owen Gagliardi, and Teddy Quinn. And it's great to see you guys, and I'm going to welcome you all up here, and you guys are first. Come on up.
Good evening, Board of Education members, Dr. Brochel, Dr. Butler, and community members. I'm Aiden Faley, and this is Owen Baguilar and Teddy Quinn. We are members of the Innovative and Creative BMS Culture and Climate Committee. We are here to talk about Pi Day at BMS. Although we all know the day of March 14th, which is Pi Day, has passed, our events for this mathematical holiday are occurring at the end of the month. Before diving into the thick of it, we would like to deeply thank the science teachers who let the voting happen in their classes, along with Ms. Pasquarelli and Dr. Rizzuto, who are at the core of our treasured community.
Last year, everyone was working on brainstorming ideas for little-known holidays, like National Spaghetti Day, which we still celebrate, and we were struggling to find a good one for our first month. Finally, we stumbled across Pi Day. For Pi Day, I had the thought of an event where the teachers would be pied in the face. Thanks to our wonderful and very brave faculty members, we were able to pull it off. Voting for this year's teacher volunteers took place on Pi Day. We are now able to make this event a yearly tradition. Last year, students were surprised to learn that during the event, students who were in the most community service hours were the ones who were able to pie the teacher.
Working together this year, our committee came up with the idea to expand the events to include more students in a student pie eating contest. 7th and 8th grade students who want to participate will be able to sign up and have their names selected randomly from a drawing to eat a pie for additional house points. We look forward to seeing how this event comes together. As we head into spring, we have a student council raffle that supports the NJ State Council charity of Ava's Voice, a nonprofit organization helping people with Usher syndrome. In addition, spring sports start this Monday. We proudly have over 100 student athletes in grades 5 through 8 this season. Lastly, this week, middle and elementary teachers faced off against the Harlem Wizards. This entertaining event gave students the opportunity to cheer on their favorite teachers, and everyone had a great night. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, gentlemen. Always a great report from our middle school climate and culture team. And we have Nora Jersak, who is representing the high school. And her time's getting short with us, right? It's March, and before you know it, you're going to be in college. Come on down.
I'm not there yet. I'm not there yet. I still have time to make decisions. Alrighty. Good evening, everyone. Keys are going on the floor. I hope you're all doing well. To get started, we have had massive success with recent events and are looking forward to upcoming events as well. Our senior versus faculty basketball game was amazing and a very close game. I believe faculty were actually winning up until the very end. And then, students pulled something and they won, but very close. Our musical Legally Blonde was absolutely amazing. They had record attendance, and it was one of the most attended shows at BHS in the last 15 years. So that was really incredible to see. Our second annual St. Baldrick's event was amazing as well. They had 18 student participants as well as one parent participate. And then during the event, they had an additional 10 students come down and participate as well. They actually hit their goal of raising $25,000, and those funds will be going towards the St. Baldrick's Foundation to help support childhood cancer research. Last week, we had NJ GPA testing for our juniors and PSAT 10 testing for our sophomores. And then this week, we have testing for our multilingual learners. So that's also testing that's going on. As far as upcoming events, we have a lot to look forward to. Our choirs are going on a trip to New Orleans. They leave on the 26th and will be returning on the 30th. The senior fashion show is coming up, and that will be on April 5th. Pops night is on April 10th, and then junior prom is on April 11th. So a lot in that 2-week period. Student council is also preparing for Teacher Appreciation Week, so I know that's something we're all looking forward to see. The third marking period ends on March 28th, and with that there's the beginning of the fourth marking period, and also some opportunities for spring athletes. So for senior spring athletes, athletes for seniors, quarters 1 through 3, when you have a PE exemption, it turns into a study hall. You cannot use it as a senior privilege, so you can't come in late or leave early. However, with the fourth quarter and classes lighting up and people being committed to schools, they're now able to apply to Dr. Nigel directly, and there's a possibility for them to have their PE exemption actually turned into a senior privilege. So they have the opportunity to leave early or come late, which is really great. That's that. So for sports, we finished up winter sports, so I'm just going to be going over that, and spring sports have started. Alrighty, so boys basketball ended up finishing 15-10, and they tied for second in the division, and they also beat the division champs, Somerville, twice. Girls basketball finished 23-6, and with 23 wins, it was a new BHS record. They won the division and went to the semifinals in the NJSIAA tournament. Girls fencing finished 12-2, and they finished second within the division. And they also got the SCIAA championship for the second time in school history. And then boys fencing also finished 12-2 as division champs. Our ice hockey team won the Spike Billings Award, which is a team sportsmanship award given by a league to a team that demonstrates the best sportsmanship and had the least amount of penalty minutes. So that was wonderful. Boys skiing finished 6-24, and the majority of the team will be returning for next year. Girls skiing finished 22-8, and we had some new school history made as 3 girls qualified for the Ski Race of Champions. And then we also had a student invited to represent New Jersey in the Eastern Championships in New Hampshire. All right. For boys swimming, they moved up a division, and they finished the season 4-7, and we had a student invited to the Meet of Champions as a wild card. Girls swimming also moved up a division, and they finished 5-7, and once again we had a student invited to the Meet of Champions as a wild card. For boys track, they were state sectional champions for the 3rd year in a row, and our DMR team for boys track actually finished a race for 2nd in the nation, so that's really incredible. Girls track finished 8th in the States. And then boys wrestling finished the season with a record of 14-6, and 4 boys advanced from the district tournament to the regional tournament. And then in girls wrestling, they had a record of 12-2, and we had a student win the Skyline Conference Individual Girls Wrestling Championship. That's my sports update. Thank you, guys.
Next on our agenda for tonight are some student recognitions, and we have some student writers here from Burnersville Middle School, and we also have one of whom moved up to the high school. So the advisor for the late bell is Dawn Russo, and she's just, as many of you know, a storied teacher here in the district, and just continues to do beautiful work with our children. So this year, Ms. Russo oversaw over 50 writers and editors and artists who created the Late Bell. That's Burnersville Middle School's literary magazine. They were awarded an excellent rating in the NCTE Realm contest. So we do have some recognitions for them this evening, and I'm going to read out the proclamation for them, and we're going to invite them up one by one to receive this. So this is a resolution and honoring our students for publication excellence on the Late Bell Literary Magazine in 2023-2024. Whereas the Somerset Hills Board of Education gives special honor and commendation to the dedicated magazine staff who perform at the highest level of publishing with creativity, effort, and a positive attitude. Whereas our students are part of the Burnersville Middle School and serve as an inspiration to peers and staff members alike. These students creatively engage in writing, art making, and recognizing creative endeavors for meaningful purposes. Now therefore be it resolved by the Somerset Hills Board of Education that the members of the board hereby commend these students for being awarded the rank of excellent in the 2024 NCTE Recognizing Excellence in Art and Literacy Magazine contest. When the Somerset Hills Board of Education adjourns on this day, it does so in honor of the achievements earned by these students. The board secretary is directed to have this resolution reflected in the permanent minutes of the Somerset Hills Board of Education on this 19th day of March 2025. So I am going to invite these students up here. Our first student is Darcy Camberg. Emily Mann. Amaya Ram. Elenia Sasso. Now excelling up at the high school, Jillian Winters. One more round of applause for our honorees. This year we have our the second year since I've been here reprisal of the intergenerational prom. This was a long-standing tradition prior to COVID, and we have Mrs. Lesniak, who is a key member of the community that is helping organize that, and also Mr. DiCicino, who is doing some great work too around the intergenerational prom, and we've spoken quite a bit, and I did invite them to say some words to the public about their initiative, so come on up.
Hi, I'm Stephanie Lesnick. I am a very proud mom of 2 BHS alumni. And this is our 14th annual intergenerational prom. And I'll let Greg speak a little bit about the prom.
Yeah, we started the prom back in 2008, very difficult time to remember financially and all that, and we started actually before we kind of got in. We had the buy-in of a wonderful Somerset Hills community, donating food, donating all kinds of things, and we were able to get it off the ground, and it's been a huge success ever since. We, unfortunately, through COVID, missed several years. That kind of hurt us in terms of our numbers. Our numbers are starting to get built up a little bit, but in any event, it's an absolutely wonderful event. High school kids through the Key Club and Mr. Kaplan guiding them and doing all the work in there. Host the senior citizens of our community as well as the BHS senior citizen alumni. We're hoping to build that up a little bit. So we're here to extend the invitation to the entire Board of Education, the entire administrative team. Mrs. Butler is I'm sorry, Dr. Butler. Mrs. Butler is. Dr. Butler has been one of our biggest supporters going back since she's been here. When did you start here, Dr. Butler? Long time. I don't know about going back either. But we had many board members come last year, administrators come as well, and we are hoping to have even more of you folks to come and enjoy it. You don't have to be old to come. You just we'll put you to work if you want to work. We have a ton of food, so it's a great. Bring your spouses, significant others, and we just want you to enjoy the evening and watch. I'll let Stephanie speak. That she speaks very well to that. But watching the students interact with the senior citizens, it's just that brings tears to your eyes. It's just a wonderful, wonderful event. You don't have to stay the whole evening. You just come. If you can come for half an hour, that would be wonderful. We'd like you all to experience it and see just what we put together. A lot of work on the part of the community and students, and I know they will love to see you there. Was that you talk about that?
It's a wonderful event because it really brings the students and kind of the forgotten generation that we want to bring back to the school. We want them to come and enjoy the kids, and seeing the interaction between the students and the seniors that live in our district is just beautiful. I don't know who has a better time. And the kids will go and they will bring they serve them, they bring them their dinners, and then when the dancing starts, it's amazing. They have a king and queen, and everybody has the most wonderful time, and even these very quiet, shy seniors are up there dancing and having the best time, and it really just brings the whole community together, from the restaurants and vendors who donate door prizes to everybody, to the students, to the seniors, and the parent volunteers who we couldn't do this without. It's just an amazing evening, and we hope you all can come because it's a fun night.
Leslie, any help you can give us in terms of reaching out to neighbors, people you know who are senior citizens? A lot of times they feel funny about going because nobody thinks of themselves as old, myself included, of course. But it's not for old people, it's for just people approaching those senior years as well. And if you know anyone in your neighborhood, any VHS alumni who are seniors, if you could reach out to them, a couple people here and there. If you reach out to a couple people and they reach out to one or two people, exponentially can grow a little bit bigger. Being Italian, I always seem to overdo it with the food, so there's always plenty of food. We sent
everybody goes home with a takeaway. Takeaway box.
Chicky Del Russo does all the Italian pastries. We have ice cream that we get from Nasso's, and it's just, so anything you can do to help reach out to some people, we appreciate it. Stephanie's going to pass out some save the dates and the invitations.
And Chairman Aluda handles all of our RSVPs and the tables and everything. And it's a really wonderful night, and we hope you guys can all join us.
Thank you so much for your time. We
Thank
appreciate
you.
it.
Thank you.
the staff recognitions, I think, for the retirees. Do you want to do them?
Sure.
Okay.
Ms. Valerie, if you could please lead those.
All right, let's go. Whereas Suzanne Ryan has been employed from September 2002 through June 2025 as a school nurse, and whereas she exemplified expertise, commitment, and professionalism in her duties, and now therefore be it resolved that the Somerset Hills School District and Board of Education recognize Suzanne Ryan's retirement effective July 1st, 2025, and extend to her congratulations and best wishes for a happy, healthy, and enjoyable retirement. Whereas Valerie Chores has been employed. Whereas Valerie Chores has been employed from September 2003 through September 2025 as a teacher, and whereas she exemplified expertise, commitment, and professionalism in her duties, and now therefore be it resolved that the Somerset Hills School District and Board of Education recognize Valerie Chores' retirement effective October 1st, 2025, and extend to her congratulations and best wishes for a happy, healthy, and enjoyable retirement. Whereas Kathleen Ryerson has been employed from January 2011 through June 2025 as a teacher, and whereas she exemplified expertise, commitment, and professionalism in her duties, and now therefore be it resolved that the Somerset Hills School District and Board of Education recognize Kathleen Ryerson's retirement effective July 1st, 2025, and extend to her congratulations and best wishes for a happy, healthy, and enjoyable retirement.
Okay, moving along here, on the 15th, the board approved Mr. Richard Ligori as the new business administrator and board secretary. I'd like to welcome Mr. Ligori. By way of reminder, he brings extensive experience in the industries of finance and accounting to the role. He's worked in companies ranging from privately owned companies to Fortune 500 companies, some companies of note, Dow Jones and Company, Johnson & Johnson, and Cadbury. He will be responsible, as you know, for the administration of all phases of our budget, including the one that was just adopted for review by the New Jersey Department of Education. And he will oversee the annual audit to ensure that our practices are sound, and also helping to implement a multi-year maintenance plan for our facilities. He is an active member of his own community in a host of roles. Most notably, he's a Board of Education member in the town that he lives in. He's been on that board for 17 years. He's served in leadership roles. He's served in the area of facilities and finance in those roles, and he's also assisted with the successful passing of 2 referendums in that town. So he brings a lot of value here and has a deep understanding of the role, and I'm looking forward to bringing him on. So welcome, Rich, to the district, and Mr. Ligori is here with us. Harvard Model Congress. We have 32 students from the high school that participated in Harvard Model Congress as their delegation. They had some impressive performances in Boston in late February. Students played a variety of roles in that 4-day simulation, including representatives in the House and the Senate, the National Security Council, and the Federal Bureau of Investigations. A special congratulations to those who were recognized by the staff at Harvard Model Congress for their outstanding contributions to their committees. This year, that included 6 students from the high school. So the BHS recipients for Best Delegate Award was Arden Adeo. He was in the Senate Banking, Housing, and Urban Affairs Committee. Killian Schlager was in the Senate Foreign Relations Committee. Several students received honorable mention. Joseph Morandi was in the Senate Select Committee on Intelligence. Gabe Scott in the Senate Energy and Natural Resources Committee. Andrew Tropp in the House Judiciary Committee. And Jack Eklund in the House Science, Space, and Technology Committee. So another great turnout at Harvard Model Congress. We also had the Physics Olympics in the past month, and we had a host of students that were on winning teams here at the New Jersey Physics Olympics. There was a paper towel event. This is one of 6 main challenges. Teams competed to build the tallest possible freestanding tower made from one piece of copy paper in 20 minutes using only scissors. So it sounds like an awesome day. The high school, their team tower won with a freestanding height of 1.57 meters, which, I will say, is very impressive for one piece of copy paper and one set of scissors. So that's the Physics Olympics. The Bedwell HSA for the past 8 years has been hosting Story Night. This year it was called Stories for All Seasons, and they celebrated reading with families, and the community spirit really makes Bedwell what it is. For the weeks leading up to Story Night, the elementary school HSA committee had a team of 15 that decorated classrooms with objects, colors, and intricate details. The spaces were transformed to bring the seasons and the books to life. Students and families rotated through the night to hear teachers read aloud. We had Ms. Rodriguez, who was representing the winter season, and Ms. Dooley was representing the spring season. Mr. Sakin was ushering in summer, and he represented that season, and Mrs. DeStefano represented fall. So Mr. Thurlow and parts of the Bedwell Band, as they're called, did offer some entertainment. Mr. Thurlow played the acoustic guitar, Jeff Wasserman played the bass, and Melissa Leonard played the violin. Love reading is a gift that keeps on giving, and fostering that love is a combined effort between our homes and our schools. And I think that if you ask any adult about positive memories they remember from their childhood, a lot of them start with reading, in the home and in schools, and an event like Story Night only reinforces that. Got some great photos from a variety of the rooms at Story Night, and it was just a great event, certainly. Recently, many members of the Somerset Hills Board of Education joined Rayana Remington. She's a student here at Bernards High School, and she was named by the Somerset County Board of Education for the School Board's Education as a unsung hero. She has demonstrated great perseverance, determination, and success in the face of challenges that have presented themselves since her move last year from Jamaica. She maintains honor roll status. She has had to adjust to acclimate to a whole new climate, a whole new culture, an entire new academic system while making friends and balancing home responsibilities. She contributes through community service at the local library. She sings, she cooks, she's great at art, and she wants to be a nurse. And we're looking forward to hearing more about Rihanna's success, and we're having really had a great time meeting her family as well. So we're looking forward to bringing her here to a future meeting as well. Bedwell's Battle of the Books took place again. This is about 20 years that they've been running Battles of the Books, or Battle of the Books. And it's a competition that challenges 4th grade students to test their reading comprehension, their teamwork, and their memory skills. There were 16 teams of eager 4th grade students that were competing against one another after reading a selection of 12 books over 2 months. The teams named after colleges and universities came together to face off in a battle of literary knowledge. The first round was a high-energy competition where all teams had a chance to answer 25 questions. The top 6 teams moved on to the highly anticipated finals. After 52 questions in the finals, Notre Dame and the University of North Carolina were tied. What happened was heart-pounding during overtime. Nate had a great time writing this, by the way. The teams were asked 5 more difficult questions in a sudden death format. In an unprecedented twist, the final question required both teams to submit a written response offering a detailed explanation to break the tie. Notre Dame was declared the winner, earning the title of the 2025 Battle of the Books champion, and we're already eagerly awaiting 2026 version. So another great initiative coming out of Bedwell. The middle school has a green team that is very active in the space of community service. They partner together to collect clothing and they make donations to the Market Street Mission in Morristown. This is the third year with this particular initiative. It has been a success. It's still going on. So if those of you in the public or watching online, please know that you can certainly donate to the middle school green team as they continue through this work. Last week, the high school was at it again. St. Baldrick's was here, and they held a head shaving event. It was a very big success. There were 19 people that volunteered to shave their heads last Thursday night, and another 10 spontaneously volunteered to come out of the stands and to shave their heads too. The cause was contagious. The excitement was all over the gymnasium there. Over $25,000 was raised for pediatric cancer research, which is a 2-year total of at or around or above $50,000, which is no small feat. This is a very big deal and an awesome initiative, and I was sad to miss it. Lucian Sateri is the everyday hero for March. They call Lucian the MacGyver of his age here. He's organized, he's considerate, he identifies solutions to problems. For those of you that were able to participate in our STEM and engineering competitions recently, I know Mr. Baker was there. He was one of the organizers, which is a job unto itself. So he understands the needs of a group. He understands how to work with a group and how to solve problems. He identifies peers who are struggling. He doesn't hesitate to offer his assistance and to understand what their needs are. He has a lot of empathy and compassion for every student that he interacts with here. He's a terrific leader, an excellent problem solver, and just a great big heart. So he's a great kid, and we are happy to honor him, or the high school is happy to honor him as their everyday hero for March. The Girl Up Club is at it again. In honor of March as Women's History Month, the Girl Up Club hosts a presenter, Carol Simon Levin, from Telling Her Stories, which is a popular program in many local libraries. She presented to a large group of high school students during a recent lunch block with one of her programs titled Mothers of Invention, where students learned about the ingenuity of many overlooked women inventors throughout world history who have created items that we use every day. The Girl Up Club is advised by Ms. Petra Longo. Even our youngest learners are actively engaged in science. In Danielle Martin's Bedwell class, students got to work together to use different tools and ingredients to free their Lego characters who got stuck in the ice. Kindergartners loved delving into the scientific method to investigate, test, and discuss the results. Some great photos there. It is job fair season in our Human Resources Department, and Kathy Meehan has been on the trail with Dr. Butler to recruit the latest and greatest graduates. They recently were at the TCNJ Education Job Fair in Ewing. There were 200 students, and there were 113 K-12, or 113 public schools that were at this event, and we were able to greet different types of educators, all highly skilled, that met some of the needs that we have in our district. So we have some openings in kindergarten and in our elementary classrooms, physical education, social studies, Spanish, and in area nursing. So we are actively recruiting there. And as always, don't forget to jump into the Friday folders when you're looking for some information. Just want to provide an executive summary of the budget here. We did recently have a very productive session with the board and the public regarding next year's budget. I'll give you the broad strokes here. Our curriculum budget is coming in at $322,500. That comprises curriculum writing salaries, curriculum program development, professional development, teacher training, contracted services, and textbook adoption and textbook placement. We were able to identify a curriculum budget that does meet the needs and the goals in our strategic plan, prioritizes up-to-date curriculum and materials for the students in our charge, and provides faculty members with sustained professional development, and allows for curriculum that's dynamic and is in compliance with the various state mandates. And also, we're able to support our bilingual classes, which are going to be 2 now at Bedwell, and a variety of special education matters. In the area of special education, this next year's budget maintains what we currently have. Over time, we've been able to increase our preschool offerings. Moving into next year, we're able to increase our in-class resource offerings in language arts and math in grades 2, 3, and 4. Over at the middle school, we are able to increase our in-class resource offerings in science and social studies in grades 5 through 8, and also in our academic and accelerated courses at the high school. Over time, we have been able to increase our special class programs, specifically LLD classes at Bedwell, and over time, we've been able to add 4 additional teaching staff. So there's been some growth there. The special education budget comes in at $8,287,625. That covers salaries for our staff members, tuitions, transportation, summer programming, and supplies as well. From a personnel perspective, there are enhancements to our program here. There's a bilingual teacher addition to first grade at Bedwell. There's a special education teacher for in-class resource at Bedwell. At the district level, we have 2 additional positions that contribute to student services. The first is a case manager position at the district level. That will be either a social worker or a psychologist, and the second is a behaviorist at the district level. From a facilities and operations perspective, we will be continuing with our upgrades in the Performing Arts Center. This has been a multi-year initiative here. We are planning on an audio upgrade in the PAC, upgrading the PAC curtain, addressing a retaining wall in the parking lot between the high school and the Olcott building. We are planning to install LED lights on Olcott Field, and also upgrading our wiring and hardware in our door access. So that will all be a withdrawal from our capital reserve. Also in the area of facilities, but this time as a withdrawal from our maintenance reserve account, is maintenance that will be done in the summer of '26. Up at the Polo Grounds, we will mill down 6 tennis courts, we will build them back up, and we will install new fencing. We will have a 2-year budget impact there. The first year, this year, we will allocate and appropriate $600,000 for phase 1 of this project, and the balance of this project will be appropriated in the following year's budget. So this course, from a fiscal perspective, will bridge 2 buckets. This budget does implement a healthcare adjustment waiver, and that helps districts adjust with healthcare costs that are continue to escalate and continue to rise, not only at a local but also a national level. The budget does include a healthcare adjustment waiver of $397,108. That is being added to the tax levy. The healthcare adjustment will not result in addition of 2% on that figure in future budgets, the way that other funding mechanisms would. But we elected to use this opportunity to add to our budget. As I shared, the healthcare waiver is $397,108. The general fund tax levy increase is 3.03%. In round dollars, that's $1,075,517. That amounts to a 2% increase on the tax levy plus the healthcare waiver impact of 1.03%. When we're looking at our debt service, our debt service fund tax levy increase. It does have a 15.06% increase. That's due to a balloon payment in the final year of some expiring debt. That amounts in dollars to $403,584. Total tax levy impact is 3.88%. Tax levy was raised by $1,479,101. We did have a capital reserve withdrawal to maintain our current facilities. That's for $1,435,000, and there's also a maintenance reserve withdrawal in the amount of $600,000. There are 4 additional positions in the budget, and this budget maintains all staff. This budget maintains all of its academic programs, and this budget does maintain our co-curricular programming as well. Our general fund is spread over a local tax levy of 75.8%, tuition, additional aid from the New Jersey Department of Education. We utilize some fund balance between budgets to make our budgets work. We have capital reserve withdrawals that are revenues and other revenues that we count on. From an expense perspective, the largest expense, about 82%, is our salaries and benefits. That's $38.1 million. Education is a very human resource heavy endeavor, and certainly that comprises much of our spending. As we look forward to building the next budget, we're monitoring any impacts in funding and what I call the fiscal cliff moving forward, and how that impacts our programming. We are focused on achievement and instruction. We're focused on our K-12 student services programming, our enrollment projections, enhancing our security, replacing expiring debt, and examining our long-range facility plan, and having a balance between maintaining great programs to the greatest extent that we can, and also acknowledging the needs of the taxpayer. We're working very closely with the district demographer to chart out our future as far as what our enrollment looks like today, tomorrow, and 5 years from now. It's critical to kind of have your finger on the pulse there, so we're continuing that work as we build for the future. We will have a public budget hearing on April 30th. At this point, our budget has been officially submitted to the Department of Education. Those folks are reviewing the budget, and will be engaging with me and the business office regarding any necessary modifications or questions they may have. Moving along, we're continuing our work with Operation Responding for Excellence. We're examining our student services programming. We did have 3 meetings in the winter in January and February. They were very, very productive. We are focused in 4 areas: enhancing our organization, developing and continuing a supportive culture with families, looking at our evaluation process itself, and how we implement services, and then planning for our future. We are in the process of developing a special education parent advisory group, and we're hopeful to set some dates shortly for that work to take place, and also to solicit parent leader volunteers. And lastly, we will formulate an official report based off of that work, etc. We are getting closer to identifying a website platform in which to grow from. We have prioritized calendar functionality and an app, and developing a local news source within our website. I hope to come to you shortly with 3 templates for you to consider and think about. We have 5 templates that we're working on. They all fit well, and they all kind of meet the demand that the public offered to us, and they essentially gave us our charge as far as what they'd like to see in a website, and we're doing our very best to get that completed. We do hope to roll over any website on or around August 1st to give us about a month to work out any unique challenges before the beginning of the school year. So the next 5 streams are the 5 that we've kind of arrived at, that we're working through, and we hope to kind of whittle that down to 3 for the board. So you can kind of take a look there. They're all very similar. They all have nice pop, and certainly they could all serve us well. We are, through Dr. Butler's office, developing a task force around cell phone usage. The focus really is to have a board representative partner with Dr. Butler and to lean on the insights and thoughts and advice of our local pediatric physicians, our district physicians, and also mental health service providers that we have on staff. So more to come on that in the future. And looking ahead, we're continuing to construct interview panels for a Bedwell principal vacancy. We are deeply engaged in long-range facility planning. We do have some expiring debt. And in April, we have a public hearing on the budget on April 30th. And Ms. Brenda, that is the culmination of my report.
Thank you very much, Dr. Burchell. So then at this time, we will move into our first public comments for actionable agenda items. We very much welcome input from the public. Public comments are welcome at this time on any actionable agenda item. Towards the end of the meeting, there is a second public forum on any topic. Please state your name and address. Comments are limited to 3 minutes. At 3 minutes, you will be interrupted and asked to pause to allow any other members of the public who would like to speak an opportunity to do so. An individual may return to the podium to complete their statement after everyone else has had an opportunity to speak for a total of 2 times at the podium. Please understand that our public forums are not structured as question and answer sessions, but are offered as opportunities to share your thoughts with the board. In instances where the board feels there is a misunderstanding or inaccuracy, the board president or superintendent may address the comment. In accordance with New Jersey statute, the board will not discuss matters regarding specific personnel. Public comments will be limited to 30 minutes for this section. A reminder for all parties in attendance to remain respectful and that there should be no interaction between the speaker and the audience. No members of the audience should interfere with or interrupt the speaker's comments. We thank you in advance for your input. And for anyone taking the podium, we do have our timer, which counts down from 3 minutes so that you can be mindful of how much time you have remaining on your comment. Is there anybody that has a public comment for an actionable agenda item this evening? Okay, so at this time, can I get a motion to close public comments? Ms. Santoro, and a second. Ms. Ryan, thank you. Okay, on to approval of the minutes. At this time, I'm going to ask for a motion to approve the public input and action and executive meeting minutes for February 19, 2025 with corrections that will be made and posted to the website. Can I get a motion to approve the minutes, please? Ms. Cooper, and a second? Ms. Hoppy, and is there any discussion regarding the minutes? Okay, roll call, please.
Ms. Ballard,
Yes.
Ms. Clark Emery,
Yes.
Ms. Cooper,
Yes.
Ms. Gomez,
Yes.
Mrs. Hoppy,
Yes.
Mrs. Santoro,
Yes.
Mrs. Wright,
Yes.
Mr. Baker,
Yes.
Mrs. Brenda.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay, thank you so much. Then we will move on to the report of the Business Operations Committee. Mr. Baker.
Thank you. The Business Operation Committee met twice since the last meeting in February. We met on March the 5th for 2 hours and March the 11th for 2 hours. And my report will be fairly short because Dr. Broschel has covered a lot of what we discussed in the report. We discussed 3 items. First item was the draft budget, which he just showed you. But I want to point out that I think the committee had to agree, should we exceed the 2% cap? I mean, just so the board understands, we haven't done that since 2008, when Governor Christie put the 2% cap on. This board, going way back, has been very adamant of trying to stay within the 2%, and I've been very adamant about it. But this year is an unusual year for us, so I think going above makes sense. Our healthcare costs are out of control, and our prescription costs are out of control. They're just not us, everybody's. You know, as I'm talking about, the whole world is having the same problem. Plus, everything we buy is more expensive. So, with that in one hand and wanting to not cut staff, because if we had, say, we're going to sit at 2%, we'd have to let somebody go somewhere, and the board doesn't want to do that. So, all of us agree on that. So we had a long discussion about options. What can we do here? What can we do there? So I want to make sure the board realizes that and the public understands that it's a big number. I mean, 3.88 is bigger than we've had in a long time. But I think it's necessary, and I think Dr. Groschel did a great job going down and explaining where things are and what he can and cannot do. So I think it's important for the board to understand that. The second item we talked about in a detail, which you put up here, is what capital projects we were going to fund for the $1.4 million. You went through all those items just a few minutes ago, so I won't do that again. And the third item, we met with our architect and went over their healthcare check. In other words, we talked about this the last meeting, and provided us with an online tool to look at everything in every building, what they found that needs improvement. And we spent 2 hours going through that, the board saying, here's what we think is important, and having a conversation back and forth with the architect. What do you really think this? Do you really think that? So we're having a meeting next Tuesday, right?
6 o'clock.
6 o'clock. We're going to talk about the priority projects that we would like to put forward in a referendum, probably around $38 million. But we can move around. I don't want anybody to hold me to that $38 million. We can go, last week we could go more. And that's based on a tax neutral bond at a 4% rate for the next 20 years. So we're going to now try to get that, what can we get for $38 million that we think is important? And we have talked about a lot of projects, so we're not going to talk about those now because we're going to hear about those next week at the meeting. And it is a public meeting, right, Dr. Groschel?
It is, yes.
So anybody who wants to come and hear about it, they are more than welcome. And that's all I have. I'll turn it back.
Okay.
If I could just add one thing, if you are a board member that is not on the Business Operations Committee, you have received an email with access to the same level of detail that the Business Operations Committee has regarding the facilities health check. So please try to log in there. I'm told that it's having a little bit of challenge if you try to log in on an iPad. So if you use a desktop, that would be great. But if you could go into that tool prior to next Tuesday, that would be helpful. Last spring or late last winter, the board did authorize a facilities health check for solutions architecture. They did come in and they did a very, very thorough job at Bedwell, Middle, High, and also at Olcott. This is a very deep and broad level of due diligence, and it's a great tool, so I would strongly urge you to take a look at that at your convenience. And if you have a login problem, let me know as soon as possible.
Thank you very much. So at this time, I would like to ask for a motion to approve action items number 1 through 15 on the agenda. Mr. Baker, and a second. Ms. Cooper, and discussion.
For
Yeah, an email was sent today to make sure, to check everybody's availability. Yeah. Okay. I would just like to express a note of thanks to Ms. Leekstra. Did I get that? Yes. Okay. And Dr. Brochel and the team, and Deb in the office, and Jody Smith. The budget season is long. This was a very complicated budget. And Mr. Baker did a wonderful job of explaining the different nuances and our funding sources, as did Dr. Brochel in his report. That I really believe that this budget encompasses not only the culmination of items that were outlined in our latest strategic plan, the input from our administration, from our educators, from our community as to the drivers of the things that are needed in this district, from a personnel perspective, from a facilities perspective, from a curriculum perspective. And I really, to be able to keep all of our programming whole and to be able to meet those goals and to use the data and information that we have been collecting and have been provided over the years, and that our administrators have really gone to great lengths to toil over and to reflect what has been found, to drive achievement, to drive success, to really elevate the Somerset Hills School District. I think that is a notable accomplishment and very worthy of the funding streams that we're going to be utilizing. So I just wanted to thank everybody. And also just to thank the board for the extraordinary engagement at the March 15th. I think I said to Dr. Brochel upon leaving there, while maybe entertaining isn't the right word, the level of engagement and enthusiasm and board members leaving from a budget retreat pumped is, it is certainly an accomplishment. So thank you all very much. If nobody else has anything, then we will do roll call.
Ms. Clark Emery.
Yes.
Ms. Cooper.
Yes.
Ms. Gomez.
Yes.
Mrs. Hoppy.
Yes.
Mrs. Santoro.
Yes.
Mrs. Wright.
Yes.
Mr. Baker.
Yes.
Ms. Ballard.
Yes.
And Mrs. Renda.
Yes, but I'm going to abstain from number 3, please.
Okay. Motion passes.
Okay, thank you. And we are going to move on to curriculum, Ms. Cooper.
The curriculum committee met Tuesday, March 11th for about an hour and 45 minutes. Committee members who attended included Ms. Hoppy, Ms. Rye, Ms. Brenda, and myself, and we were joined by Dr. Brochel and Dr. Butler. We began the meeting with a presentation by Dr. Butler on the district's comprehensive equity plan. By law, all districts are required to develop a 3-year comprehensive equity plan and can submit it to the County Office of Education for certification and completion. It's the board's responsibility to identify and correct all discriminatory and inequitable policies, programs, practices, and conditions within or affecting our schools. The process for developing such a plan includes several key steps. We've already designated the affirmative action officer and established the affirmative action team. The next steps are to analyze district data and assess needs, a process that is currently underway, and to complete the needs assessment for the comprehensive equity plan. The team will then develop corrective action plans for any identified areas of need. In April, Dr. Butler will present the results of the team's analysis in committee, and in May she'll present, the proposed plan will be presented and the board will vote on it. In June, the team will submit the plan to the county superintendent, so we'll be hearing a lot more about the plan, the comprehensive equity plan in upcoming months. Dr. Brochel then raised the possibility of a board training opportunity with Capturing Kids' Hearts. The committee was interested in the opportunity, but it's costly, so we'll need feedback from the Business Operations Committee to determine feasibility and support for the training. We then briefly discussed topics to consider in future curriculum meetings. First, Dr. Brochel raised the possibility of expanding the age range for our multi-language learners at the high school. Under current New Jersey statute, students are entitled to remain enrolled in public school programs until the age of 20. At high schools, at BHS, students have been permitted to complete the school year when they turn 20 if they are on track to graduate. However, some multi-language learners are not able to complete the necessary graduation requirements in time to graduate before turning 21 due to their age when they enrolled. The proposed policy will ensure that multi-language learners who turn 21 during a school year but who need additional time to complete graduation requirements will have an avenue to earn their diploma. The committee wholeheartedly supported this change and recommended that the policy committee consider a policy change as well. Additional discussions regarding this change will continue in future meetings. Other topics we would like to explore in the future included plans for increasing instructional time in math at the middle school, the efficiency of ELA instruction and the effectiveness of the middle school ELA curriculum, and potential gender disparities in learning and achievement, particularly at Bedwell. Dr. Butler then gave us an update on recent career and technical education initiatives. Somerset County VOTEC will be meeting with 7th graders on April 9th to increase their awareness of opportunities in grade 9 through 12 beyond those offered at the high school. We're also hoping that the Universal Technical Institute's Classroom on Wheels will visit the high school in the spring. Lunchtime visits with Lincoln Tech representatives will also occur in March. In February, the Raritan Valley Community College Workforce Training Program staff came to discuss their trade programs. Although relatively few students attended, RVCC's Instant Decision Day at Bedwell had better attendance. Finally, Dr. Butler mentioned that the high school has had an extraordinarily high number of students enlisting the military this year. Dr. Butler said that there may be plans to hold a celebratory breakfast with these students and their recruiters in conjunction with a military open house for students interested in the armed services. No concerns were raised regarding any of the PD or field trip requests currently on the agenda for approval. And that concludes my report.
Ms. Cooper, if I could, I just want to point out that there is a very brief addendum in the area of curriculum instruction tonight. I apologize for that, but we had a few items that I missed.
No problem, thank you.
Okay, so then, with that information, I would like to ask for a motion to approve action items number 1 through 5 on the agenda with the additions to item number 2 as reflected on the addendum. Can I please have a motion, Ms. Cooper, and a second? Ms. Ballard, thank you. And any before we move into discussion, I forgot about new or old business for business operations. So is there anybody that has anything for new or old business for business operations before we move on? I don't want to forget that important nugget. Okay, then any discussion for curriculum, please?
So I just have a question. The Somerset County VOTEC, when they meet with our 7th graders, what does that, is that like an assembly, I don't know, Ms. Cooper, Dr. Butler, what does that look like? Is it an assembly? How do they do it in small groups?
It is an assembly type.
Okay. And we started doing that how long ago? Do you recall?
Just a couple of years.
Do you feel like that has given our middle schoolers more awareness? And have you, sorry, you may not have this information, I apologize, so we can.
I think it does give them a greater awareness. I don't know, you can check on that, but I don't
Our
know
numbers
that
have
it was
increased.
translated into.
Dr. Butler, isn't this the first year we've done it for 7th graders though?
Oh, yeah, it's normally 8th graders, right?
Yeah, so this is the first year we're doing it for 7th graders, I think.
Sorry.
So we've done it historically in 8th grade.
2 years of exposure to that? Okay.
If I could interject, I would say that the assemblies themselves have always given exposure to kids. Where I think the real conversations need to take place really are with the homes, with the parents. Because in 2025, there's a very different narrative that our vocational technical schools are offering and then producing in comparison to like when we were in school. So the instruction is very, very precise, very technical, and it offers a host of opportunities that not everybody may be in the position to understand. So I do think like our next level of work is to also bridge that gap between homes so parents understand that. And it's competitive to get into these technical schools. I mean, it's not just filling out an application and getting a stamp like, okay. It is a competitive process, and it's something that I think every family should consider.
No, I think that's an excellent idea, Dr. Burchell, because I think think you're right, a lot of parents don't know that exists, and then I know that they have some flexibility, but they tend to be four-year programs. So if you don't know and you're not aware and haven't applied by freshman year, it becomes, I mean, they do accept kids, for sure,
We have
after
tried
that
to
point,
do
but-
a better job publicizing when they have their open house as well, because I think having a parent and a student physically go there and learn about the programs is much more effective than when they come to us. You're not really like seeing,
Yes,
you know,
I would
everything
agree with that.
they have to offer.
When you go to that campus too, it's quite impressive.
And at their open house, they always have students there, you know, talking about what they're doing, so that's a really good experience.
Well, I was gonna say, unfortunately, there was such a stigma too, for years and years and years, you know, but, I mean, now, it's so hard to get in. I mean, even as the case manager, I was trying to get kids in, and it's like, it's really competitive, and, you know, because they're also worried about test scores, unfortunately. You know, so I think the more we educate our parents and the community, I think it would be a really good idea.
Mrs. Wright?
As a parent who participated and did go to those open houses, I found them very illuminating. And I know, Ms. Ballard, that your daughter went either share time or?
Yeah, she went, she did all her academics here in the morning, and then all her extra, not curriculars, her electives she did at VOTEC. So she graduated there, and she actually is on the board, the alumni board there. So that, I think, speaks to what a wonderful experience she had, and she went on to college. Her focus was dance, and she's a dance teacher now. So, yeah, I think she's a success story. And I think there's many others out there, so it's a great option for
We
people.
might need her phone number.
She probably would come.
And, to that end, we did discuss a few, like a few ways to Dr. Broschel's point, or also about, the education component and that potentially sharing this information about opportunities maybe in that eighth grade planning transition where, parents are present and you're doing scheduling for the following year. And then, we discussed even further out, like career technical education goes beyond just VOTEC, and for our students who may be seeking an alternate path to a traditional four-year college throughout their high school experience and, different pathways for, moving forward even if they don't attend a VOTEC.
Right.
And, what that may look like. So there is some significant conversation regarding those opportunities and things that we're going to continue and that administration is dedicated to.
And something we'll continue to report out on.
Thank you.
Is there anybody else?
Sorry, I want to mention. One, I don't know, her daughter gave actual lesson to my daughter. I got a dance, remember? Long time ago they did that. But one thing also I said, maybe to bring alumni, right, that were there to, like a panel. I think that would be very helpful because it's different when you have seen them and that they can ask questions, all that stuff. So probably that would be nice, like you have the college.
Her son will come from Cuba. Well, he has volunteered to come and talk about military recruitment, not as a recruiter, but talking about his experience in the military.
I have a question just about one of the professional development course. I see a lot of staff is taking the Interdistrict Learning Network Conference Capacity Building training. I know nothing about it, I've never seen it before, so can you explain who sponsored it, where?
Sure. Yeah, that's some work with Rutgers University that we've started to have some conversations with the teachers in the district and administrators in the district regarding just ways to understand how to bridge our own work together in the interest of student achievement. So we have availed a researcher from Rutgers with some folks, starting with the Teachers Association, and they had at least one session with him, and they were intrigued. And so there are two sessions coming up. One is where a host of districts that are doing this type of collaborative work with each other are all convening in one space and you'll have teachers, paraprofessionals, secretaries, board members in some cases, administrators that all, converge and kind of talk about different ways that they're solving many of the challenging problems in education now. So, yeah.
Is there anybody else for curriculum? Okay, then roll call, please.
Ms. Cooper.
Yes.
Ms. Gomez.
Yes.
Mrs. Hoppy.
Yes.
Mrs. Santoro.
Yes.
Mrs. Rye.
Yes.
Mr. Baker.
Yes.
Ms. Ballard.
Yes.
Ms. Clark Emery.
Yes.
Ms. Brenda.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay, thank you. And is there anything for new or old business for curriculum to put on a future agenda? No? Okay, then we will move into personnel. Ms. Ballard.
The Policy and Personnel Committee met on March 6th from 4 to 5:15 p.m. and in attendance were myself, Mrs. Clark Emery, Ms. Gills, Mrs. Santoro, Mrs. Brenda, and Dr. Brochel. For the Personnel Committee, Dr. Brochel provided the fiscal year 26 preview, which we all know about now. And the only other news, in the Bedwell principal search, it's continuing, and Dr. Brochel is moving forward with more interviews.
Thank you so much. Then I would like to ask for a motion to approve action items number 1 through 13 on the agenda, please. Ms. Ballard, and second. Ms. Hoppy, and discussion regarding personnel. Okay, then roll call, please.
Ms. Gomez.
Yes.
Mrs. Hoppy.
Yes.
Mrs. Santoro.
Yes.
Mrs. Rye.
Yes.
Mr. Baker.
Yes.
Ms. Ballard.
Yes.
Ms. Clark Emery.
Yes.
Ms. Cooper.
Yes.
Mrs. Brenda.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay, and is there anything for new or old business for personnel? Okay, then we'll move on to policy. Ms. Ballard.
Same meeting. So there was a couple policies for review. Policy 5516, use of electronic communication devices, and regulation 5516. Both P5516 and R5516 are recommended. P5516 discusses audio recording and cell phone use in school. Part of the original policy includes a Dayton statute which mentions the use of pagers. The policy is dated and as such is being revised to include more targeted limitations of students' use of electronic communication devices, specifically cell phones. This comes at a time when schools are reconsidering and implementing policies in reference to the use of cell phones. R5516 provides options wherein a student can use a cell phone during the day, as well as progressive discipline for violations of usage rules. Both 5516 P and R were developed in response to discussions surrounding cell phone use around the country. SHSD has begun these discussions with the stakeholder survey discussed in previous meetings. The committee will pause review of the aforementioned policy and regulation as we wait for an expected directive from the governor, but we will continue to observe what other school districts such as Ridge are doing, and as well as the formation of the task force mentioned by Dr. Brochel. Another policy that we started to discuss, but we didn't really get into the meat of it, is P0614, which is conduct of the board meeting. This discussion was in response to a request by a board member to change the order of public comments. We began this discussion, we will continue in the next meeting, and we will then have information to report. And then there was several policies presented for second reading, and that is my report.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Ballard. I would like to ask for a motion at this time to approve action item number 1 on the agenda. Ms. Ballard, and a second. Ms. Santoro, and any discussion regarding policy.
Is it any particular policy that we have a comment on?
Well, include for new and old business, if there's something future you want to go.
Regarding cell phones?
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
I know this, the governor is deciding whether or not to have a total ban or not to have a total ban. But children, there is technology out there now for children who are hearing impaired, that typically we use an FM system, but, you know, as they get older, it becomes more stabilizing. And, you know, they don't want the attention drawn to them, so they have now devices where they can actually put it in their, you know, in their binder or in their, and you can control the influx of background information through your cell phone. So, you know, I know that it would most likely be an IEP, you know, issue. You'd be writing IEP as an exemption of, yes, you can have your cell phone, but that's something that we really need to consider because there's a lot of technology out there that we need to look at.
Yeah, and that's a terrific point. I've seen some initial language from your policy advisors that has a carve out for that very issue. Certainly, yeah, great point, and I've written it down.
Is there anybody else? Okay, then we can roll call.
Ms. Gomez. Mrs. Hobby.
Yes.
Mrs. Santoro.
Yep.
Mrs. Wright.
Yes.
Mr. Baker.
Yes.
Ms. Ballard.
Yes.
Ms. Clark Emery.
Yes.
Ms. Cooper.
Yes.
And Mrs. Brenda.
Yes.
Motion passes.
And is there anything for new or old business for policy for future discussion? Okay, then we will move on to the report of student services. Mrs. Santoro.
Thank you. Student services met on March 6th at 5:30, and in attendance were Mrs. Brenda, Mrs. Ballard, Mrs. Cooper, and Dr. Broschel. I'm going to keep this really short because Dr. Broschel touched on it. We just kind of summarized the work of Operation Responding for Excellence and the process that the district undertook with regards to that. And so he's touched on that in the superintendent reports the last several months. I will just note to that the excellent work that was done by our staff, by the community, you know, and we appreciated the very thorough process and how it was laid out and giving everybody the opportunity to contribute to that. And I will just tie that into, you can see a direct response to the work that was done in the budget this year. So I just think it's very important to note that that process really yielded results that allowed the district and the board to act and incorporate into future budgets. So I think that's worth noting, and I think that's it for this.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Then I would like to ask for a motion at this time to approve action items number 1 and 2 on the agenda. Ms. Santoro, second, Mr. Baker, and is there any discussion related to student services? No? Okay, then we can roll call, please.
Mrs. Hoppy.
Yes.
Mrs. Santoro.
Yes.
Mrs. Wright.
Yes.
Mr. Baker.
Yes.
Ms. Ballard.
Yes.
Ms. Clark Emery.
Yes.
Ms. Cooper.
Yes.
Ms. Gomez.
Yes.
Mrs. Brenda.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay, thanks so much. And then we will go to board announcements. The views and opinions that are may be expressed by individual members of the Somerset Hills Board of Education during board announcements are solely those of the individual board members and do not reflect the views, opinions, policies, regulations, and/or positions of the Somerset Hills Board of Education and/or any other individual members of the board. Does anybody have anything to report for board announcements? Yeah.
I just wanted to take a moment to shout out to our parents who did such good work and our special services, as Heather mentioned. But it was really nice to attend the meetings and meet people and see their commitment to our school, which we see all the time. The parents of the HSA, the parents that supported the story times, all the things. And so I think it's always good to encourage our parents to continue to be involved and celebrate that. I also wanted to say for the teachers, I'm an educator and I am on spring break right now, and thank God. And they have to wait until April 18th, so I'm just here to say, stay strong. It's coming. They really do a lot, and they really deserve that R&R, so you're on my mind.
Very worthwhile board announcement. Thank you very much.
Who recommended that calendar anyway?
Just on the heels of things that have already been discussed this evening, I did just kind of want to reiterate the Unsung Hero ceremony that many of us went to. I know, it's a weeknight evening, it's often very difficult to attend. However, when the opportunity arises in future years for those that will be here, it is something that is a really special event and celebrating students in a way that we don't normally get to celebrate them necessarily. And it blows your mind what these kids are accomplishing. I leave there and I say, I have done nothing. So it's a really special event, and to that end also intergenerational prom. Was fortunate enough to be there, and I really don't think it can be overstated watching the kids with the seniors and their little dance circles and the joy. Worthwhile for anybody that can attend, community, board, administration, whomever. Great event. And that's it for me. Yes. Thank you.
So, I second the intergenerational prom. Of course, I'm old enough to go, and my husband and I went last year, and we did have a really good time. And I also was able, very fortunately, to see the school musical, and I was just so impressed with the amazing work that our students did, along with their faculty advisors who in no small way contributed to their success. As a theater kid from way back, I really appreciate the work that I know went into it. And I just want to say that those kids are great.
Thank you. Is there anybody else? Okay, then we'll move on to public comments. Public comments are welcome at this time on any topic. Please state your name and address. Comments are limited to 3 minutes. At 3 minutes, you'll be interrupted and asked to pause to allow any other members of the public who would like to speak an opportunity to do so. An individual may return to the podium to complete their statement after everyone else has had an opportunity to speak for a total of 2 times at the podium. Please understand that our public forums are not structured as question and answer sessions, but are offered as opportunities to share your thoughts with the board. In instances where the board feels there is a misunderstanding or inaccuracy, the board president or superintendent may address the comment. In accordance with New Jersey statute, the board will not discuss matters regarding specific personnel. A reminder for all parties in attendance to remain respectful and that there should be no interaction between the speaker and the audience. No members of the audience should interfere with or interrupt the speaker's comments. We thank you in advance for your input, and the timer reminder for anyone that takes the podium for your countdown of 3 minutes so you know how much time you have remaining. Is there anyone who would like to make a public comment at this time?
Hello there, good evening. My name is Sophia Seelig. I'm a 3rd grade, sorry.
Sorry.
Okay. My name is Sophia Seelig. I'm a 3rd grade teacher at Bedwell. On March 3rd, I sent a letter to Dr. Broschel, signed by 35 colleagues and me. The letter was shared with Dr. Butler and members of the board. It provided our insight into Bedwell's next principal. Tonight, I would like to read that letter to the public. Dear Dr. Broschel, thank you for your January 30th, 2025 update on the principal search. We truly appreciate your transparency and commitment to keeping us involved in this important process. What resonated most with us in your email was your recognition of the value of collaboration with your Bedwell colleagues, the folks on the front lines of the school, as you put it. Your willingness to listen to those who know Bedwell best means so much to us because it highlights our shared belief in the importance of communication and fostering and maintaining relationships, particularly in the context of your relationship with us and our relationship with you. You see, Bedwell isn't just a school where we work, it's home. Many of us have spent 20 or more years here, Not because of the district itself, but because of the deep relationships we've built within these walls, with each other, our students, their families, and the greater community. We are more than colleagues. We are a family bound by a shared love and passion for what we do. No matter the challenges that have come our way, we have stayed, lifted each other up, and ensured that Bedwell remains a place where children feel safe, loved, and inspired to grow. And we have done this time and time again, not because of our building leadership, but despite it. Over the years, we've noticed something important. Prior experience as a building administrator has had no bearing on a principal's success at Bedwell. Why? Because Bedwell is not like any other elementary school. What makes a leader thrive here is what makes our staff thrive. It isn't about titles or years of experience elsewhere. It's about heart, connection, and an unwavering commitment to putting students first. It's about truly supporting the staff and students, not just in words, but in action. It's about being present, listening with intent, and valuing the insight of those who dedicate themselves to our students every day. It's about knowing your building, not just the names of your students and staff, but the unique strengths and passions they bring to the school. It's about collaborating, not directing, and making decisions that reflect what is truly best for our students. Bedwell doesn't need just any leader, it needs the right leader. Someone who is a natural fit for this role, not someone who is being shaped into it. Time and experience have proven that forced fits don't work. The right leader walked these halls not long ago. In his short time here, he supported and strengthened everything that makes Bedwell special. He did so effortlessly, not because of years of administrative experience, but because it was simply who he was. His ability to lead with heart, connect with staff and students alike, and uplift our school community was innate. That kind of leadership cannot be taught or measured. It's a quality that comes from within. You have turned to us for input in selecting the right leader for Bedwell, one who truly understands and embodies the values that make our school exceptional. If we want the best for Bedwell, we must choose the best.
Is there anyone else? There's more, or are you done?
There's more.
Okay, is there anybody else that would like to make a comment at this time? No? Okay.
Thank you. And the best for our students, staff, and community is Mr. Christopher Carey. Words are powerful and convincing, but it is the action behind them that truly holds meaning and defines our intent. Lean in us as you said you would in this process. Underscore and listen to our voices when we express to you the needs of Bedwell. Our hope is clear. Bedwell needs Mr. Carey. Let it be known also that the greater community shares in our hope. Countless families have expressed to us their desire to welcome Mr. Carey back because they too know that there is no other candidate better prepared to serve Bedwell than he. Mr. Carey puts students first, always. He sees, listens to, and values every child. He fosters a culture where students, staff, and families feel supported, respected, and empowered. When students feel that sense of belonging, they flourish, not just academically, but as people. Mr. Carey understands, cherishes, and nurtures what makes our school unlike any other. He is the natural fit. Bedwell is special because the heart of the people invested in your staff, students, their families, and the greater community. On behalf of all stakeholders, we ask that you keep that at heart at the center of the decision that is ultimately yours to make. A decision we trust will be made with deep consideration of the feedback and insights you value from us, the folks on the front lines of the school. Thank you for taking the time to listen to, reflect on the insights of many, and to make a choice that will shape the future of our Bedwell family. With gratitude, your Bedwell colleagues. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Is there anybody else at this time? No? Okay. I am not going to ask for a motion to adjourn because we do need to reconvene in executive session for matters related to litigation, so.
I had a few.